Audio boys and girls, it's time for another Jeep Talk Show interview, and today we're going to be talking with Brian Williams. Brian, thank you so much for having a name that I can easily pronounce. Because there's some names on, there's some names on here that I have no hope. I can usually get the first name; it's the last name I have trouble with. So Brian is with CMM Off-Road, and they have more than 35 years, or Brian has more than 35 years of metal manipulation and motorsport experience. Brian Williams grew up on a farm where he learned the meaning of hard work. Oh God, I bet you did. And what time you had to get up in the morning too, I'm sure.
Or if we ever went to bed, yes.
Yeah. And the value of aiming high. Those lessons were the basis of CMM Off-Road, and they are now the basis for creating the kinds of products that satisfy the most rigorous demands placed on them by by their customers. CMM Off-Road stands for Buying America Materials to Make Our American Crafted Products. I often forget to ask, because I like pointing out American made, and I often forget to ask our guest if it's American made. And I don't want to say, so are your products American made? And they have to go, well, no, not exactly, because you don't want to ask that question.
Yeah, no, it's everything aside from we don't make, well, some we do, but we don't make hardware, standard bolts and whatnot. We try to do the best we can to get American-made products, regardless of what it is. There are some things you don't have an option on, but pretty much if it's aluminum and machine and a few steel parts, a few stainless parts, some other stuff, if it's machined, we make it right here in Cumberland Furnace, Tennessee. So, yes, sir. I
think it is a safe thing to say that if it is American-made, you are going to be getting a better product overall. Some people out there make crap. But I'm saying, I think the most people that do American-made stuff, it really is good. And the only time you ever go overseas for anything is whenever you're trying to maximize profit. And quality usually suffers, I think.
I'd agree with that. You can have two of the three things. You can either have fast, good, or quick. Fast, good, or cheap. And you got to pick two. So you can have it fast and good, but it's not going to be cheap, or you can have it cheap and fast, and it's definitely not going to be good. So there's a side of that. So and we try to strive to make everything that we make absolutely perfect. Sometimes we'll have blim sales, and people are like, I can't find anything wrong with this. It's there. We don't like letting things out. So that's the old motorsport side. So,
well, it goes back to who you are. It's like, this is a reflection of who you are as a person and a company. And absolutely, you don't want to put out an inferior product, because people will get to know you based on that. That's that to them, to the consumer. That's the most important thing. Is the thing that they get. That's how they know you. Customer service is nice. It's great to have. But if the product sucks, the customer service is very much secondary.
Very much secondary. And as they always say, you only get one chance to make a first impression. So, we do the best we can, whether you're a repeat customer or the first time you've ever ordered. What goes out. We're a very small company as well, too. There's only 4 of us here total. And my wife, myself, my son, and one other guy. And he does the Cerakote side. And we make everything that goes out the door. And we have a very controlled section of it. Well, there's the 4 of us, but then there's also 6 CNC machines. They don't talk back. Well, most of the time they don't talk back. But yeah, we try to do extreme quality control. So
very nice.
And stuff still gets through every now and then. It just is.
No, of course. Hopefully you just catch it before it goes out. Yes. So before I get too far into the interview, I want to mention this so everybody knows, because a lot of people like to watch the interview and go over and check out the website at the same time. CMMoffroad.com. What does the CMM stand for?
The CMM was when we moved to Tennessee back in April of 19. When we started this, we started in North Carolina.
Right before COVID.
Right before COVID. So and it ended up working out for good. But we started in North Carolina, in Denver, North Carolina, just north of Charlotte. Myself and another guy started it. Was an old NASCAR racer dude, and we took off running. We were building parts and pieces, and at the time we were named Carolina Metal Masters.
Yes.
So I can always tell when we find an old school guy that's been around us for a long time, because hey, what's Carolina Metal Masters got out for new? And to look back on that and say, why in the world did we use that name? It is, my hands can't go wide enough here. All the way out to here, Carolina Metal Masters is the longest name on the planet. So when we got here, we'll shorten it to CMM. That way we keep the heritage, and it's still there. So.
It still kind of fits, right? I mean, you're still mashing metal, aren't you?
We're still metal mashers. Yes, that's what a lot of people call us, Carolina metal mashers too. So yeah, it goes. Yes, sir.
We
yes,
have
sir.
a regular listener, Travis, and if you knew anything about our Zoom room, our roundtable episodes, you'd laugh.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's the way Travis will refer to you guys is Carolina Metal Mashers.
Yeah.
So he must be an old time customer.
He's been around a while too. Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
you know
sir.
what I'm talking about
Absolutely.
then. So you know why I'm talking about him being a character.
Oh yeah. Yep. It's all good. It's all good. So we'll go by whatever. Hey, you, and I'm gonna answer pretty much. So yeah. Yep.
So Brian, would you do me a favor? Travis is a staunch listener. He's there for the Zoom meeting. He enjoys the show. He is not a subscriber. Would you mind encouraging Travis right now to be a subscriber?
If you're gonna watch, why not subscribe?
There you go. That's what we tell you, Travis.
I mean, come on, just get on and do it. What are you doing? If I can jump on and do social media, anyone can, because I am the most anti-social media person. I'm not anti. I just don't participate much. So,
right.
Yeah. I don't mind talking. I don't mind
having
a conversation, but to just jump out with a flag and say, look at me, I'm doing this. That's just not my thing. Everything we did on the motorsport side, we hid. Like it's still the hardest thing. My wife gives me crap for this all the time. You've been away from that for years now. And it's hard for me to say, hey, look, I just made this. Let's put this out. It's just
is part of that you didn't want is that part of that you didn't want the people that you're racing against to know what's going on?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Because literally if I can see it from doing that for that many years, if I can see it, I can pretty much make it.
Right.
And that's why I refuse to copy people's stuff. People ask us all the time, would you make this? Well, why? This guy's already doing it. Now, if I can improve it or make it do multiple things, then yeah, we may take a look at it and we may do it. But if somebody's already make it and they're doing a good job of it, just let it run. There's no need.
So, Brian, you're not a regular viewer or listener to our show, so you may not know about this thing that I do occasionally, and it's almost always during interviews. I call it the Jeep Talk Show $1 million idea. I'm gonna give you $1 million idea for CMM Off-Road, and you tell me why it's a bad idea. All right, so so I was looking something up for our flagship episode. We like to say we like to tell people about certain products and stuff that is available that you might want to put on your Jeep or in your Jeep, or if it's an old XJ, a cup holder, for example. That does nothing major, just little things like that. Yep. And I thought I found a JK locking door cap, a locking gas door cap, and I did not see one for the Gladiator. And I did a search, and I thought it would be nice to have a locking cap for the. I think gas is getting ready to go down since the election, but still, it'd be nice not to have anybody messing around. You never know; people can pour sugar in your tank too.
They could. So. And they do make just the cap that's under the trap door.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I think that if you have an off-road vehicle, this is a great opportunity to have an off-road gas door.
Okay. All right.
And it can have a little lock in it. And because it's off-road, the lock needs to be flush, so it doesn't catch on anything.
Yeah, smooth and clean. And
everything exactly. And I'm thinking this would be really neat. And it could be, it could have an off-road type thing to it. You could be black because the black and the color of the vehicle is just fine. Perfect. But I did not see any locking door gas door flaps. And it makes the one that's on the Gladiator right now. I have a 2021 Gladiator. The one that's on the Gladiator now looks like something you'd see on a minivan. So damn it.
It is.
So damn it.
It has a little latch from inside, but it is off of a minivan. Probably,
yeah. It's just like, this is the tires, the all the stuff that you off-road it. And why can't I find a door? So there's your $1 million Jeep Talk Show $1 million idea.
Okay. Well, if we do, we're going to call it the JTS door. Well, if we make it, that's what we'll call it. So, yeah. And the people say, "What does it make sense?" This is Jeep Talk Show door.
Yeah.
He's the one that came up with it. So.
Does that make sense to you as far as a cool thing? I mean, it would be relatively inexpensive. And you know how people like buying relatively inexpensive modifications for their Jeep?
Yeah, it could be potentially. Remember the 3 rules, like cheap, fast, good.
I don't make them.
I don't know.
I don't make them. I don't design them. I have no idea what the cost would be. I did see a door that somebody sells for like $429, and it wasn't locking.
Huh.
It was, I think it's CNC'd aluminum, and that's probably one of the reasons why it's so expensive.
It was us. So yeah,
it was cool. Anyway, Jeep Talk showed me another idea. All right, Brian.
Okay.
So, are you a Jeep owner?
Oh, absolutely. I've had Jeeps since, I think one of my first ones was the 80 CJ5, and that was back in like 1990. I want to say 89 or 90. So yeah. Yep. So I've had one ever since. Never been without a Jeep actually. So
good. And I always feel bad for people that, and I'm sure you've sold Jeeps, but when somebody talks about selling their Jeep, I'll say, don't do it. You're going to be very upset that you don't have that Jeep anymore, no matter what you're getting.
Yeah.
You know, I know that situations happen where you have to get rid of things to make life happen and stuff. Yeah. But still, if you don't have to sell a Jeep, never sell a Jeep. Just get a bigger yard.
Get more space. Yeah, build another building, get more space. We've got a 2015 that we've had. We sold our 10 that we had, that we started a lot of these products with. There's a guy back in North Carolina wanted it, and we decided to let it go. Orange, our 2015 four-door JK, we're going to keep it. It's never going anywhere. It's got a stable here in the shop. And I think I'm going to keep this Gladiator as well, this diesel Gladiator, just because of what it is. And I love this truck. It works so good. And I know there's a lot of complaints. Everybody complains about everything, no matter what it is. If you give somebody $1 million, I got to pay taxes on it. So, but I do this. There's a lot of more potential still with this vehicle. And I apologize. Most time I'll call anything that's four wheels a car, just because motorsport thing again. So this car is a good car, and there's a lot more we can do with it, and a lot of stuff that's untapped. So once we get past a little bit of computer and stuff that Jeep has their hands tied, not by their own choice. Once we get past some of that stuff here in a little bit more time, as it always does, these things will really open up. So, but these, as much as anything else, it's about keeping things light as you can keep it, and it will continue on. But yeah, I would still own every Jeep. If I could go back, I would have kept everything that I've ever had. So, including, like I say, even the XJs, even all the TJs, everything, I would kept all of them. So had a Liberty once. I don't think I'd keep that one, but that doesn't really count as a Jeep. So it was a very short period of time.
So we call those Gynos, kind of like the Rhino thing. Jeep in name only.
Jeep in name only. Yes, Gyno. That's perfect. It fits to the T. Yes, I like it. So yes. Yep,
so and there's nothing wrong if you're an individual that has a Liberty or even the new Renegade. That's fine. But the thing I always say is that I'm afraid that people, especially the newbies, don't realize that whenever they're buying this Jeep, this trail-rated Jeep, that you're going to be limited by the aftermarket. If you get a Wrangler or a Gladiator or an XJ or a YJ or a TJ or a JK, all those things have a multi-billion-dollar aftermarket. Crap that you can buy to slap on there and modify your Jeep. And like it or not, that's the thing that is just so wonderful about Jeeps. The modification of it. Your business is modifications to the Jeeps. And people love doing that. That's why you're a success. Now, but do you have anything for the Renegade?
Not yet. We've had
there's a reason for that though.
Yeah, there's people always ask, because somebody somewhere in the family's got it. They'll show up and they've got 3 Gladiators and 2 JKs and a bunch of other stuff, and they're like, "Hey, my aunt has a Renegade. Do you have anything for that?" We have a universal ball mount that might bolt in, because pretty much every A-pillar.
It's kind of like, wait a minute, is it the Renegade from the 70s? Because if it's the Renegade from the 70s, absolutely.
we can do something with that. But not yet. So
but you see what I'm saying? Because it's the aftermarket is there for the ones that everybody calls Jeeps, that are the real Jeeps. Because just because Jeep slaps trail rated on it doesn't mean that it's the same as the trail rated badge on a Gladiator, on a Wrangler. So.
Well, it's one of those things I've heard on a 2-part answer. I've heard some stuff that there are more aftermarket parts for the Jeep Wrangler platform than there are of everything else there is combined. And I'm talking every other vehicle, all of them combined. There's more parts for a Wrangler out there than there are for that. So that side of it, it's hard. And then the second side of it is what Jeep themselves have done with this car is incredible. We played around a little bit with an off-branded other item, a 2-door Bronco, And my wife bought it. We got it when it first came out. We ordered the launch edition, every loaded bell and whistle, everything there was, the whole line. And for the street, if you just get in it and drive it and you're not driving it, it's a decent vehicle. But if you start to push it, you realize there's suspension geometry differences between the front and the rear. They don't coexist very well. And I got to the point where I was like, well, what do you want me to do with this thing? If I start, there's nowhere I'm going to stop. They're going to throw everything in the trash, and then we'll have something at the end. And it may look like a Bronco, but at that point, it's just a trophy truck again. It's not. It has no meaning whatsoever. So, and we got rid of it. It's out of here. So we're back to Jeep only family. So
the Broncos are very pretty. They're very nice. I hear they ride very nice. Yeah.
It ran good. The power plant's good. The transmission works good. The interior's not too bad. It just if you're gonna the development, if Ford would have been doing that the entire time, like Jeep, they never bailed out. Ford decided that, well, we're going to quit making this, then we're going to come back, then we're going to quit, then we're going to come back. Jeep's been doing it from the get-go, and all that stack up of all those years, it shows, and they do a very, very good job of what they do. So I'm not sponsored by Jeep in any way, shape, or form. I just like their products.
Well, you're not against it though, right? You're not against the Jeep sponsorship.
I'm not against it. Scott Bloom, if you're out there listening, come on, man. Let's go, brother. Let's go.
Let's party. Exactly.
Yeah.
So my first ever Jeep, and I've wanted a Jeep since the CJ days, because I think I was 16, 17 years old. I really wanted a Jeep. And I asked, and I've talked about this recently, I checked the insurance on it. It was going to be $75 a month, which was a god-awful lot of money at that time. So there was no way I was going to be able to afford that. So finally got a Jeep in 1997, 1998. I don't remember exactly. And I bought a Cherokee. And absolutely beautiful rig. We got the Cherokee because it was 4 doors. I was there to buy a Wrangler, a TJ. Got the 4-door because we had 2 little girls at the time. And I thought, let's get the 4-door. We could always get the TJ down the road. Well, I still have the XJ. It's a one-owner XJ, which is almost unheard of. And I drove.
There are none. You have the only one.
Yeah, it's a unicorn. And I drove that until I purchased the 2021 Jeep Gladiator, Jeep Talk Show Gladiator. Gotcha. And I was really impressed that I've done a lot of modifications to the XJ, so it drives a lot differently than it did initially. But as far as sitting in the Gladiator, the view out of the Gladiator, the feel, now the Gladiator is much smoother. Even after I got long arms on the XJ, it's still a lot smoother, but smoother to drive. But it is still 25 years later, very much a Jeep, at least what I was used to in the XJ. So, and my God, I mean, you know that the same people aren't at Jeep. They've had people come and go. I mean, there's several people there that have been there for years and years and years. I understand. But to maintain that Jeepiness over that time frame and that radically different of a vehicle, I mean, that's wonderful. That's something that people should understand in the Jeep world. When you get a Wrangler, you really are getting a Wrangler. It's going to be nicer and smoother and everything else. But still, the basis of the Wrangler is still there. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, and I agree. There's a piece of that too, that like when the JLs first came out, after having JKs for so long and everything else, it's like, man, this is like, it's got all the nice stuff in it, and it's more fancy and it's cleaner and it's not as rugged. And well, it is, and we're used to them now. And now that, of course, the 24s look like they are, well, this is all soft. It's got a giant screen in it. It's got all this stuff, but it grows on you over time. But it's a very well put together. If I know, looking at it on an engineering side, if we were to start from scratch, you know, like that new one that's out, I'm short for words here.
Is it a Jeep one? Is you talking about the new Jeep?
It's the Garnier or the Garnier, that, or not Garnier, whatever that thing is called. The Grenadier. Sorry, the Grenadier.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
You haven't heard of that? They started from scratch. It was a guy over somewhere overseas that decided he took Land Rovers, Jeeps, Chevy trucks, Fords, Dodge, everything there was, Land Rover, anything there was, bought them all, played with them. I think he's a sultan of somewhere, but anyway, bought all this stuff, played with it, and realized, I want to build something that's better. So they come up with this Grenadier, and it's probably a good vehicle, and it's going to take time to develop, but you don't have all that history. You can't go back to 1941 and say we started here, and it just doesn't. You can't do that. And there's something for history. And history, every year we're in business and we're farther in business, we get smarter and a little bit smarter. Now, maybe on a tiny little exponential, teeny bits of smarter, we try to do good, but you gain every year, you learn every year. And if you keep doing it, you just keep getting better and better. You keep refining and refining and refining. And that's what they've done. And it proves it, like hands down proves it. And we've done some stuff. We've done a bunch of overlanding stuff with this Gladiator. And the fun part is we'll show up out at, somewhere overland, and we'll be in the middle of nowhere on a mesa and sitting there and overlooking. And here, either we get there or there's Toyota guys that come up and they show up and they're like, okay, so, where are you guys headed next? And we're like, we point over here, we're going over and up there, and that's where we're headed. Okay, cool. And we're going there too. Do you guys want to go on the trail first? No, we're going down right here and then going over. And they're like, oh, well, we're going back the trail and then we're going to be over there. We'll see you over there maybe later tonight or maybe tomorrow. So, well, we're camping there tonight and you probably won't see us tomorrow. We'll be gone already. Oh, and and Toyota's not bad, but they don't have this history. It's based on history, and it proves itself constantly. So
yeah. Well, and of course you can modify a Toyota to the hilt,
and there's bad,
and do all that stuff. But
if I can say that, there's badass ones out there, amazing Toyotas out there, and we've seen tons of them. But it's just a different mentality. The whole thing's a different mentality, and as far as I'm concerned, we can coexist. There's no reason not to. And we've played around making Toyota stuff, and we probably will make more Toyota stuff. I started out. There's you can't see it in the background here. It's somewhere here on one of my walls, but we did Land Cruiser FJ80 stuff back in the day, which was, in a sense, a big TJ, a four-door TJ ahead of its time because it was foiled and it was linked. So it was a 3-link kind of a situation in the front, a 4-link in the rear, and those cars worked phenomenal, and they did great. And we did a bunch of stuff with that way long time ago. So, and they're good. They're good vehicles, but again, Jeep's history. There's not a lot of stuff out there with a solid axle.
Oh,
I don't know how long this is going to last.
Yeah.
But you're only going to go so far. Now, we're not going to go 115 mile an hour through the whoops with a solid axle without a ton of money being put into it, of course, but you're not going to do it. But everybody's not doing that anyway. They just want something they can put their family in and go into the Rubicon without a care. And you can do it with this car. Just get in and go.
Yeah.
With hardly any modification at all. It's why it's called a Rubicon. So I sound like I'm advertising for a Jeep commercial, and I'm not.
No, you're a
such
Jeep,
a good vehicle.
You're a Jeep lover, just like we are, and that's the whole reason why we started this show, is because we like talking about Jeeps. Jeeps are great, and when they're not, we call the bullshit.
Yes,
when it's a Jeep marketing ploy, we'll call out all the bullshit because it's just it's like I mentioned the Renegade. It's fine to have a Renegade. You can love the Renegade as much as you like, but it's going to limit you on what you can go off road and how you can modify it. All right, so I'm going to lead into this because we'll sit here and talk about this stuff all day because it's so much fun to talk about. What was your first product for CMM Off-Road?
The very first thing we did. The very first thing I made back then when we started to do this, it was steering. That little tiny tie rod that was on a JK was kind of a waste of time.
It was horrible on a TJ as well.
Oh yeah, TJ was. I don't even know what they were thinking with some of that stuff. But it was not even close. So, and I had a TJ at that time too. And then we reworked all that steering, of course, and a whole bunch of other stuff on that car.
Was it before or after Death Wobble?
I never. This
my
is a whole
wife's
topic.
Well, yeah, my wife's
topic.
Yeah, my wife's TJ got death wobble while she was on I-10 doing 70 miles an hour.
Oh,
and I had to replace everything on it, which is simple to do, but
it's simple. It's simple, and we can go back to death wobble at some point because that's there's an easy fix for death wobble, and it's not.
Well, it's go and get the dual or triple or quadruple steering stabilizers.
Yes, the more you put on it, the better. Especially the ones that are opposing each other. That definitely helps.
Absolutely.
In the automotive world, there is a thing called Caster, and Caster fixes everything. If you can run without a stabilizer, you're fine. Mm-hmm. Stabilizers, you don't really need one.
That's
when
right.
It comes down to it. If Caster's set right, you're good. And people say, "Well, what's Caster?" Well, we can go into a whole engineering thing. I can pull out of the bookshelf back here, I can pull an engineering book and we can discuss Caster and camber and everything else and come to it. But put the right stuff on it
Yeah.
get caster built back into it, put adjustable arms on it. Don't put an 8-inch lift on a TJ with no adjustable arms, because at that point you have negative caster and the thing's going to be all over the place.
It's just a vertical control arm at that point.
Bad times, bad times. But yeah, that tends to be a common thing. I had a guy clear back in North Carolina brought me a 2-door JK. He goes, man, you guys have a lot of Jeeps. Could you sell my Jeep? I was like, well, why do you want to sell it? He goes, man, it's terrible. I was like, well, I tell you what, let me just throw some stuff at it. I'm going to throw $500 worth of stuff at it, and then you tell me whether it's good or not. And if you don't like it, I'll put it out here and we'll sell it with that stuff on it, and then it'll go away. And he's like, what? You're going to spend $500? I said, dude, I'm serious. And he's like, all right. So I did it. And he had one shock. I won't mention the brand name, but the pressure had reversed. So when you pulled the shock body out, it sucked itself right back in, when you take the shock off.
Oh my God.
That didn't help. That was on the right rear. The sway bar link was broke on the left front. So of course the thing then is doing this.
Oh, it's a boat.
Back
yeah.
and forth.
You're steering a boat. Yeah.
We did that, and I put a set of lower rock crawler, lower control arms on it, adjustable, and I put that stuff on it, and I rotated tires because I had Nitto mud grapplers on it that had never been rotated. So they were paddle tires. They were terrible. And I drove it around for a while. We got the things kind of mashed down a little bit. And he came back and he drove it. He's like, what did you do? I was like, well, I got the toe set right. I got caster set right. Fixed the sway bar link, put a shock on it. He's like, oh my God. And we ended up building 3 Jeeps for that guy over the years. And he's like, he kept coming back. He's like, man, my daughter wants one now.
Yeah. Not only did you save a Jeep and save the man money from selling a perfectly good Jeep, you made him a repeat customer in the future. That's wonderful.
Yeah. And it's misinformation. And everybody, if I say it is, then that's truth. Or if somebody else says it's this,
it's on the forum. I read it on the forum.
It's truth.
Everybody agreed with him.
If we can get a car to go around Michigan or Indy, or picture I've got up there with a world speed record in California, with an Indy car, if we can get one of those cars go that kind of speed and be totally fine, then I'm sure we can get this Jeep to do 55 miles an hour on a bumpy road and work just fine. So it comes down to just basic, simple principles, and it's cutting through the BS. And I don't even know where to start or how to say it. I'm not trying to offend anybody or say anybody's wrong or right or vice versa, but it's simple mechanics. It's basic mechanics. You don't put an impact wrench on something with it in forward and keep trying to go to back it off. You put it in reverse and it backs the nut or the bolt off. You don't keep going forward and saying, I don't know why this won't come loose. So it's basic engineering principles, and it's not that hard to do. You just got to trust in somebody or get yourself there to do it. And most people don't jump up and down and say, hey, look at me, I'm going to show you how to do this. If it shows up here, we build them and we fix them. So, and we get them right.
So do you guys still work on vehicles at the shop now?
Every now and then I'll build some guys since we've been here in the last 5 years, I've probably built 6 or 7 cars complete.
Not the primary business, but you guys will still do it.
I'll still do it. I'll get somebody that starts hanging around, or they come around there. Hey, I want a Gladiator built like this. I want an overland car. I want to do this with it. And we end up doing stuff. And it drives my wife nuts because I end up doing 90% of it. You can say this, but I end up doing most of it. Everybody's going to show up now, but I end up doing most of it for virtually no labor cost, because I love doing it. I love setting cars up.
I was just going to say, you're doing it because you enjoy doing it.
Oh, I love doing it. Yeah, getting it to where it's got full travel. It's got bump stops where they've got to be. It's got clearance. Everything does what it's supposed to do. Everything's set right. And they get in and they drive it and they're like, oh my God, this doesn't even, it's on 39s now. This Gladiator's on 39s. It doesn't even it's better than it was factory. Mm-hmm. I don't know. What did you do? Well,
set
the car up. And and that's what I tell people too. Do you want me to just bolt some suspension on it, or do you want me to set the car up? Because if you want me to set it up, it's going to be traveled. Everything's going to be set right. You're going to be able to go wheel it. You're going to do anything you want. You're not going to tear fenders off. You're not going to rub. You're not going to have problems. And it's going to work, and it'll work right. But there's a difference. Like I said, it's that it's going to cost. It is what it is.
Right.
So, but it's fun to set these cars up, and then the look on their face when I say, just take it and go drive it. Go drive it and come back and let me know what you think. And they come back and they're like, oh my God, what did you do to this? Well, you can't go to an alignment shop and have them set it green or red on where they set their numbers and expect that to be good. If it was a stock vehicle, it would be good, but these are far from stock. If you're on 39s, you got a 3.5 to 4 or 5 inch lift on a JL or JT. You're not using stock numbers anymore. You've gotten a wider wheel on it. You've gotten a wider track. You've got everything's changed. So you have to make accommodations for that in the
Of
setup
course.
to get the car to work right. And
Yeah. 100% makes
good.
sense. Yeah.
They work good.
And $150 for an alignment for that lifetime alignment. They're probably not going to be adjusting your adjustable control arms. So
no, it's in the green. It says it's in the green. That's why people are like, do you have alignment rack? No, I literally have string bars. They go in the front and the rear to measure toe.
Mhm.
And then I basically pull a caster with an angleometer.
I was going to say,
yeah,
put an angle finder on it, right?
Put a digital angleometer.
That's the only two
it,
things you can adjust on unless you get some sort of big thing that you can bend the end for the caster. For the camber. Yeah.
For the camber. And you could do that in some ways with ball joints. If you got something
that's true.
If the housing's built right, the camber should be fairly decent unless it's been in a crash or something else.
Right.
If that's the case, I'm going to tell you, hey man, we need to shuck this housing and put new housing in.
Yeah, it's time to upgrade.
It's time to once again upgrade to the endless aftermarket of the Jeep. So yes,
while you're in there, this one's bent. But while you're in there, you might as well go with a 60.
That's right. You might as well. Yeah. Well, maybe not a 60. I'm all about weight. So if I was going to do it, I'd do a Fab 9 myself. I don't have them in mind. I've still got I want to see how far I can get these 44s to go in this Gladiator 39s, and no problems at all.
From the XJ having a Dana 30, it's a high pinion Dana 30, thank God, but having a Dana 30 in the front and a Chrysler 8 1/4 in the back, it's a great, other than the C clips in it, it's a great axle. I'm so tickled to have this Gladiator with 44s front and rear. Oh, yeah. And I got the Max Toe, so I have the Rubicon axles in it, minus the lockers, of course.
What they did with that pinion bearing, if you're going off of numbers at the component itself, it basically is as strong as an old school 60, more or less. Where the bearing is, that dual contact bearing, as close as it is to the pinion head, everything they've done, it's there. Physical strength, tube diameters, tube wall thickness, knuckle size, all that stuff, it's not there on that side. It's just not there. It can't be there. It's just a physical size difference of what it is. But they're strong. And and this is another one that I think is hilarious too, is I'm going to go rock bouncing and beat the crap out of my Jeep. Well, if you're stuck, that's why you spent the money on a good winch. You didn't go to Harbor Freight and get a Badlands winch. You put a Warren on it. So, I hope you did.
Right.
So if you did that, pull a line and drag the thing up, because you still want to run the rest of the day and not ruin the event for the whole group or anybody else. Just pull a line and winch it. And you're going to learn something winching too. Get Justin from Factor 55, come over and show you how to do it the right way, because we all do it the wrong way. But you're going to learn something, and you're going to learn how to recover yourself too. So there's a reason we put those winches on there. It's not so they look good sitting up there, so we can use them. So,
well, it's when that rose bush dies and you can pull it out for the wife.
Yes. Well, no, I've definitely been person to use a winch for more things than just recover the Jeep. That's for sure. Especially out here on our farm that we've got.
Yeah,
we use it for a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah. That's right. It's a tool that you can use for anything. All right, I'm going to loop you back to the question. Not that this isn't fun. Yeah. So your first thing for CMN was steering components.
Steering components. We built a tie rod and a drag link for a JK. And at the time, I was not in a position to. Well, I drew them. I've still got them on my computer here. I drew tie rod ends, and if we were going to make them, it was going to be insane cost. So we did use another company's tie rod ends, and they work good. They could have been improved. We sold a lot of steering over the years, not big numbers, not the big guys, big numbers of selling steering, but I'm using a material that is not, when you say the word Mercedes, you have Mercedes, or say the word Jeep. Well, you've got XJs, you've got TJs, YJs, LJs, everything on the planet, JKs, JTs, JLs, anything you can think of. When you say the numbers 70, 75 and aluminum, it doesn't mean that all 70, 75 is the same. Mm-hmm. So some of the stuff we found on the race side, there is better quality stuff. And we also learned some things when I was working for Robbie Gordon, all the stuff that we figured out when we were beating a trophy truck to death at 140 mile an hour into whoops. In San Felipe, the things that we found, ways to do threads, ways to do things that it takes the stress riser in the end of that thread, it takes it away. So I do that on all of our stuff, and I'll put our steering up against anybody's stuff, and we can run against whatever. We have done a lot of work to balance the load evenly from ball joint to ball joint, or tie rod end center of the ball to center of the ball. So all the load, no matter what you do to it, hit a rock square head on, get on a rock and it's sitting there and it's bending the thing and it's got a big bow in it, it's doing whatever it's doing, it balances that load evenly across. And there's other companies and they do other things and they do them for their reasons. We don't do it for cost. Let's put it that way. It's going to cost what it costs. And that's kind of all the things that we do that way. But steering was the first. We did that. We did a stabilizer mount, and then we did a ram clevis for that stabilizer mount that you could put a hydro ram to, and it wouldn't slip, it wouldn't move, wouldn't do anything. The next thing we did a fair lead, and then we did the grab bar. I wanted to place the solid mount like it was at the time from navin on trophy truck stuff. I wanted to place to mount my Lowrance so I could run nav when we were doing off-road stuff.
Right.
And there was nowhere good to mount it in the Jeep. So we did a billet aluminum grab bar that went on a JK on that passenger side on a 7-10 at the time is when we started doing those. Put a ball mount on it, and then we could mount our stuff. And then we mounted phones. And then somebody came up with the idea and said, hey, can you machine something in the face of that? And my Jeep name? I'm like, well, yeah, sure. Why not? So then we started doing custom grab bars that had names in them. And I have no idea. I'll have to get my wife actually to go back and look and see how many custom grab bars we've done. It's probably it's way into the thousands. Probably 6,000, 7,000 custom grab bars. Everybody's got a name for their Jeep. They've got their font they like.
And you're talking about the bar that's in front of the glove box.
The glove box. Yes,
yeah, that's a great place to have
on the
name.
J case. Yeah. Yep. And it names your Jeep. It gives you a place to mount your stuff, and away you go. We did that in a fair lead. And then we were putting the same names and stuff on the fair leads. And then I got to be friends with Mike Costa from Factor 55, and we just scrapped the fair lead because there wasn't that many of them going. And I love Mike. Mike's a great dude. He's retired out now. He's doing his own thing. Justin's carrying the flag for him with Warren and doing it. But we let that go. And then most everything that we've done has come off of a napkin while we're eating lunch.
Yes.
So when we were in North Carolina, we went and I'm like, man, this Jeep needs a handle to be able to get in. I don't like the Velcro
those things
wrapped
are
around the
horrible.
roll bar, the this, the that. My dad's a big guy. He's 6'8" and about 280. He's a big dude, and that it's just not strong enough. He's just not. It doesn't really matter how big the Jeep is. He can just step pretty much into it, but he still has to kind of fold up and get in. So he needs a handle.
If it's there, people are going to use it.
They're going to use it. So we then did the handle, and I had a buddy that was an MMA fighter. And he's like, man, you need to make this like a brass knuckle. So we did the brass knuckles, and his hand fits in it. So if you get the brass knuckle ones that we still make to this day, of course, it's like some people are like, oh my God, this is really big. Well, he can get his hand in it. And this dude was a brawler. I mean, his hands are huge. So he could get his hand in it. So we did those, and then the rears, and then it just kind of continued.
See, this is
there.
interesting. And I told you before we started recording that the thing I knew you guys about were the ball mounting of things inside of the Jeep.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was doing a little bit of research for this interview that I saw that you guys had the drag link and the tie rods.
Yeah, and we've come back around again. So
okay, so maybe it wasn't there when I had looked before.
It may not have been. This is fairly new this year, pretty much.
Okay,
we started doing it, and this is a culmination. Jeremy Purick owns Rockcrawler. He and I are very good friends. Work together on tons of stuff. We work together a lot on a lot of stuff, engineering wise, back and forth. He does a very, very good job of what he does on his side. And it just is a natural fit. And we work together on a lot more stuff than probably is viewed from the outside. There's a lot of stuff that we go back and forth on, and just general shooting the breeze back and forth. It's one of those things. He's done a lot of stuff in his past. I've done a lot of stuff in my past. And until you've done it, you don't know what it is. I can describe all day long what it feels like to go over the wall in the Indy 500. But until you do it, you don't know what it really feels like and what it really is. And then you know. So it's hard to put that into what we do. But between the two of us, we have enough communication, and it comes out, and we can talk to each other, and it flows. So, and this is a culmination between us. And I'm still, as I said before, I'm still using I'm using a little bit different grade of 7075 on our steering. We are anodizing it because 7075 is very easily on the corrosive side of the world. So we use a different grade than I think anybody else does. And it's probably not even known what that grade is. I'm not going to say it on here what it is either, but we use a different grade, and we clear anodize it. And that's what kind of gives it its trademark color as well. And then I still do my thread runouts the same way that we did it on all the other stuff. So it's incredibly strong, and that's the intent. And my intent is to buy it once and then run it. We had a guy here recently that has a JK, and he sent me a picture. He's got a Dana 60. He had whatchamacallit, had Trepadors on a Dana 60, had our steering still on it from the JK era, had that stuff still on it, and the tie rod is broken half, and it is scarred like unreal. I mean, you could take a death wheel to it and grind on it for 2 days and not have all the scars he's had for all these years. He goes, I bet this isn't under warranty. I was like, well, actually, dude, for what you've done to that thing, it's not, but I'll cut you another one. If you want, let's go to the new stuff. Our new stuff, it's bigger. You know what I mean? It's still balanced, but it's bigger. So let's go to the new stuff on it. And we did. So,
warranty.
But
that bastard.
We always warranty everything.
You got to ask. I know you got to ask, but come on.
You got to ask. And I just assume it drives my wife crazy because somebody will call and I'll pick up the phone, which is more and more rare, but I'll pick up the phone and they're like, hey, I got a question. I've got this problem. I'm like, well, I'm just going to send you another. We're like, because if I can make it, I'm going to send you another. So I'll just send you another one and then let me know. Because when we started doing the stuff, and I'm getting off tangent here, but when we started the stuff on the 24s, the way Jeep did that A-pillar, since it has airbags in it, we still have clearance for airbags. We still have no issues with anything getting into trouble if the airbags deploy, and have issues with our mounts that go in the A-pillars. But the way they did it, it made it extremely difficult for us to make this part. It's very much a 5-axis 3D machine part to get it to fit in that spot where that little
that sounds like fun. I mean, just watching it do all the CNC stuff, that sounds like it would be fun to watch.
It's a challenge, and we need to actually put our cameras up and show more stuff.
Yes.
But like I said, if I watch somebody making something, I can go and I can make it. It's what I did for years. So I can turn around and go and make it. So I'm afraid to put stuff out.
Just CNC a hand shooting the finger, and then that will be have a dual meaning.
Some interesting stuff in the past. Yes, some good ones. Hey, sorry, I can't see this. But we got that one. And as we were doing it, we were sending them out. And guys were like, man, I can't get it to go in the lower mount. Well, what did they do? And we realized that Jeep, they had to do the way they did. The 18 to 23s, the way that mount goes in, it bolts directly into the A-pillar. There's 2 nutserts that go in the A-pillar, and it bolts straight onto the A-pillar. And the new ones, with the way the airbag stuff flows through it, it's got a plate that bolts on, and that plate's got a huge amount of tolerance, so it can float all over the place when you bolt the thing up. So wherever it lands in the assembly line, it kind of lands. So we've come around now to where we've got them to where they do fit, and they do fit right, and they do fit correct, and everything's good. But it took a little while, but that's what that's at that point in time I was answering the phone a lot, because if I caught somebody, it's like, hey, this doesn't want to fit. Okay, well, tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you see. And then a lot of times I have them, hey, pop the plastic off. Got 10 millimeter socket, back those bolts off and rotate it. Which way is the thing going in? If it's going in and favoring itself to the passenger side, rotate that thing a little bit the other way. Rotate it towards the driver's side at the bottom, and then put it back together and see if it goes. And they're like, oh, it works perfect. Now it fits perfect. Okay, well, so we've tried to make alterations, modifications to where now they all fit.
Oh, that had been a nightmare to try to.
It was, at the beginning, it was a chase. We definitely had a chase, and we're chasing the fact that whoever is making those A-pillar plastics for Jeep, their molds are starting to wear for the plastic. So the little corners where we key our part in so it won't have rotation, the down in the square corners, they're starting to round off. So now I've modified this program again to where it's got a little rounded edge in that corner.
Oh, I never even considered these things. That has to be
so we just
crazy.
Stuff nonstop.
I mean, you can do your stuff dead on, straight, exactly. But whenever somebody's trying to bolt it on to what it's built for, if it's not dead on straight, now it's not your fault, but you're the one that has to fix it.
We got to find a way to fix it. So, and that's always been the thing. Everything that I hate to cut up a new Jeep. So I just went and spent $75,000 on a Jeep, and you're telling me, and the first thing in the instructions is you need a hole saw. Well, so we try to modify and design around things so there's no modification at all. So as we were talking earlier, you'd made the comment about the shifter, the new thing that we just spit out here less than a month ago. So, and I'll say it here right now, I'm bad on social media. I don't do a whole lot myself on social media. I don't chase stuff. I don't sit day long looking at stuff. I'm usually personally, if I'm looking at stuff, I'm looking at gun stuff. I'm looking at other side of things. I'm not looking at Jeep stuff. And so the things that we come up with, things that show up in my head to design and make, aren't necessarily tied to trying to copy somebody or cheat or do this or do any of that stuff. It's just something like, man, I need this. So this is what I'm going to make. I want it myself. I haven't ever made anything I didn't want for myself.
Right.
So we have been playing with this thing, and Will from Savvy hit me up and he said, hey man, so have you thought about doing a shifter? And I was like, well, we could. He goes, well, I got this idea. And I was like, okay. And the guys from RevKit had taken a Hurst shifter and done some modification to it to get it to where you could potentially, if you're rock crawling playing hard, you could go from drive and slam it straight into reverse. Because unlike the JKs, it's not gated, it's in the lever itself. So when you squeeze the lever, it allows it to, basically it's a stair-stepped piece within the shift gate, and it allows it to go into neutral, and then you have to squeeze it a little bit and it'll go into reverse, and then squeeze it farther and it'll go into park. So I started looking at it, and we did some reverse engineering on the internals of the shifter itself, on the JLs and JTs. And I snagged one of the Hurst ones and looked at it, and I was like, well, this isn't really where we need to go. So then just sat down and started drawing, and now we have an option, and we've got a position for it. It's the one we're calling the Hill Killer, and that was actually the guys, the RevKit guys were calling it the Hill Killer, and we've coined that word from them. But you can now have a position standard. So if you're just driving normal on the street and you bump that shifter, it's going to go into neutral. It won't slam itself into reverse. But if you're wheeling, and if you're wheeling a Gladiator, if you're going to go over backwards in a Gladiator, I want to see the hill you're on. You're on a heck of a waterfall if you're doing that. But you're in a 2-door and a 4-door, and you're wheeling hard, and there's a lot of guys really wheeling the new Jeeps hard. Then you might have good use for it. So
tell the people really quick that don't understand why you'd want to be able to go from drive to reverse very quickly.
I wish I had the video from Sergio at the Badlands racing this year. He got on one of the waterfalls there at the Badlands up in Indiana, and the Jeep was getting ready to come over the back, and it was getting ready to flop over. And if you try to grab the shifter with your hand,
it's the thinking part that's the difficult.
And hold it in that panic time. Try to hold that shifter, squeeze the lever the exact right amount to get it into reverse, so you can stand on the throttle and then get it to slam itself back down. It's impossible. So this basically gives you the option of, if you got it in our what we call DNR, that means drive, neutral, reverse, not do not resuscitate, just drive, neutral,
well,
straight to reverse.
Both, yeah.
It could be if you don't do it. Yeah, you could be upside down. But it basically gives you the option to slam the thing straight in reverse, and then you can get on the
save you and save the Jeep.
Save the Jeep.
Yeah.
And I know we had guys out there at Trail Hero that were playing with it and physically used it, and we need to get it into more guys' Jeeps that are running hardcore stuff. Just let them play with it so we can get a lot more testing time on it. So
now, just because
it works good,
just because you're not hardcore doesn't mean you can't buy this and install it on your Jeep, because it's cool, and there's no telling when you may do something in the future, right? So everybody can use one, right?
Everybody can use one. We also made one that doesn't have that option. That's a little bit less. There's a lot of it's fail-safe parts that are on the internal, that we've done it. I did it that way, so there's no way it'll fail. Like it's going to work regardless. As long as it's bolted in the car, it's going to work regardless of what you do to
Well, that's what you want when you go to use it. You want to make it work.
It's a shifter. It's like we always said in motorsport, there's two things that can never fail: steering and brakes. Ever. Everything else, you can have a failure here or there, and you achieve to not have any, but you can have zero failure with brakes and steering. So, and this drivetrain is right behind it. So, and this is a control with inside the car, so that goes right along with it as well. So that's the way I designed it, with that mentality behind it. But we also did one without all that mechanism in it. And it's called a street flow, and it's the same look and same feel as this shifter. It just doesn't have all that mechanism in it.
Well, I like that. You're thinking ahead, because you knew somebody is going to say, well, I want it for mine. And you go, well, you really don't need it unless you're hardcore. I'm not hardcore, but damn it, I want to look hardcore.
I want to have all the stuff on it. So, and we're doing those too. We did the very first one. I put it on before I sent it out there to Will, for Trail Hero. I wrote a machine Savvy in it. So we're doing customs on those now too.
Oh
We've
my
done a whole bunch
gosh.
already. We put custom names in the sides of that shifter. And we do one for the T case as well. It's just a clean little shifter. It's a match more or less for it, for the standard one.
Yeah, so you can have it
or
both
the
on
trans shifter.
the transfer case shifter, the handle that's on the transfer case shifter, and the handle for
And
the
transmission.
transmission shifter.
Yeah,
This is automatic only, correct?
Right now it's automatic only. And it's one of those things, form follows function. I did this for the automatic. If you got a manual, it's different. I have had a lot of people ask, and we will do one for the manual. It'll probably be a little bit different shape, just to make it different. I wish there were more manual Jeeps out there. There's just not a lot. So the drive isn't there. The big drive we've got right now, and what's on literally on my computer here beside me, is stuff for the JK, because people are asking for the JK.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it won't be that same style of hill killer. If we did that, we'd have to do it in the gate itself. That's in the plastic in the transmission tunnel. We'd have to do it on that if we were going to do it on that piece. It needs to be in that part because there's not a lever for disengage or engage on that shifter itself.
All right. So the big question is, how do you keep it from going into reverse? How do you change the shifter handle so it doesn't? So mom or your spouse that doesn't know why the hell this looks different now doesn't accidentally put it in reverse.
It's when you I have to here, bear with me for a second.
And this is why you guys need to watch this on YouTube, because right now the audio only audience is going, what the hell, man? You need to watch it on YouTube.
Get the light just right. Oh, I got to go back to the center here.
There you go.
So standard and DNR, and I got to get the light. There you go. Now you can almost see, so you can see where you can.
It's a nice looking handle.
You can switch it from standard to DNR, and what that allows is the position of this lever. When it goes that far, that would be basically the point where you need it to go all the way into park. When it's going to shift just into reverse, it needs to have about that much travel. And to get itself in all the way through, it has to be pulled all the way in. So what we're doing is we're just limiting the travel of the lever itself, which in actuality limits the travel of the push rod that goes down that is in the gated portion of the shifter itself mechanism that's underneath your console.
And to go from the DNR to, I think it said standard, to go between those two places, it's not just you don't put a quarter in there or anything. You have to have a little tool, don't you?
Yeah, what it is every one of these, I'm trying to get this where the light's good.
There you go.
You see that little dot right there? What it is, and it's hard to see it right now because of the way the light is, it's a Torx. And the Torx that it is the Torx that comes with your Jeep.
Perfect.
That removes the hard tops.
Yes, the little kit.
You know, two tops.
Yeah.
That little kit. So that Torx, that T50 that's in that thing is the Torx that it
So really
has.
The only thing you have to do is, when and if your spouse is driving your rock bouncer, it's that's another subject. But yes, all you have to do is remember when you get home and before the wife goes to drive it, put the Torx in there and switch it back to standard. But that's neat because you can't accidentally bump it into the position or whatever. So it stays the way it needs to be. Yeah. That's good. I'm glad you did it that way, because you could have done it, I'm sure, where it could be easily switched. But then again, it could be accidentally switched, especially in a stress situation.
Yeah. And it's one of those things we tell people, like we've done a couple of videos, a few on it, basically saying, hey, when you're wheeling, run this, put it in DNR. But when you get ready when you're airing up, that's the automatic thing. When you're airing up, make sure you switch that thing back. Yeah. Because you don't want to be, if you're, us, as we talked earlier before we started this, the dogs jump from the back seat to the front seat. If they jump in and hit that shifter when you're doing 50 mile an hour, I have not tested it there yet. I've had a few conversations, Jeep engineering wise, of what that would do and what it should do at speed. It will basically, at actual speed, it will basically throw a transmission code and just say it can't. This function cannot be performed. It won't slam it into reverse. Unlike the old, from back in motorsport days, the Lincoln town cars that we used to get for rentals, you could get a drive to reverse drop at highway speeds with those cars, and you get one for sure, no problem every single time. You get two most of the time. 3, very rare. 4, you're not getting. You're calling the rental company and say, "Hey, something's wrong with this car.
Yeah,
you gotta come and get it."
you rented me a piece of crap here. The transmission's not working.
sorry, Robbie Gordon, to give away all your fun times that we used to have, but that was always a trick. So yeah, we used to. Oh yeah, I don't even want to go into rental car stuff. Yeah, that's another world. But yeah, so that's what it does, and it's mechanical inside this shifter that basically allows it to do what it needs to do and set where it needs to set. And it's so far we've got great. It's worked good, and guys are using it and happy with it, and she's good to go.
Yeah. So this is really cool. And if you just want the look of this, you can get the ones that are a little less expensive, and you don't have to worry about actually switching it into a reverse. I think it's a good overall thing. And of course, you get both of them, and you guys have a package, a shifter, JL or JT package, so you can get both of them and install it. I would assume that the install is probably pretty simple on these.
It's super simple. And after the fact, looking at it, and like I said, I don't want to modify the vehicle. And after the fact, the guys in the shop were looking at stuff. My son and our Cerakote dude were looking at stuff, and they're like, "Hey, I was looking at videos, and there's other shifters out there." I was like, "Oh, I'm sure there is." And the first thing that they want to do is like, you got to have scissors, and you got to cut the boot off of the thing, and you got to modify this and modify that. And we made this one. We've got a multi-axis live tooling sub-spindle lathe. So we make the interface shaft, which is going to be hard to see on this again. It's this piece right here.
That's really pretty.
Which is splined in a very odd way. It's got a locating position hole once I get it rotated clear around. What you end up doing is you take the factory boot, pop the factory boot up. We send it with a T25 Torx, I think it is. You take the factory screw, back it out, take it off the car. There's a couple of detent plastic pieces you got to kind of pop to get the piece off of it. Take it off, and our piece fits right back in on that factory spline. Goes right into it. Thread the bolt in a little ways, set it back down on the car, tighten the bolt up, pop the boot back down. You're done. It's
nice.
Savvy Will did the first field install. I sent it to him, and they put it straight on. He's like, "Oh man, this is ridiculous. This is so easy to do."
It's so different whenever you create the item. Yeah, it's whenever you create the item, it's easy for you to do it, but that's the critical bit. It's when the person that wasn't involved in it at all can get it just out of the box. How hard is it to put on? So that's great. That's great. If somebody that wasn't involved,
I spent a lot of years reading directions and doing stuff from.
I can't believe you were wasting your time. I never read directions.
Like, why am I doing this? This is ridiculous. How come we're doing? What is all this? Then you got to do this, and you got to modify, and you got to do this and this and this. Like, so we try to make stuff. Everything that we make, we try to make it as easy as possible on the install.
Well, that's the experience.
It's factory,
and your experience and your team's experience is what that means. Because if it was that easy to make things easily installable, everybody would do it, and obviously that's not the case. Damn it, Brian! I was sighing here because we are at the end of this interview. I warned you that we were going to go 30, hopefully 45. It could go longer. Well, damn it, you have too much information. I mean, I say that we have only scratched the surface, but I can tell this is really, really true. Again, with you, so we'll have to get you back on because we haven't scratched the surface of all the things that you have. But you guys can do this, find out more information really easily by going over to CMM Off-Road.com, and you've probably been there before. Just go back and have a look, especially at the steering stuff. All your steering components are aluminum, correct? No steel.
The bars themselves are aluminum. The ends, of course, are steel.
Right. The tie rod ends.
The ends technically are the same ends that you get on a rock crawler one too. Like I said, we work together on this. It's virtually the same. I've done the bars themselves. I've done those just a hair different. We put our own little same twist we always did before on those. That Jeremy's doing on his, and that's really the only difference. And we work together, like I say, on a lot of stuff. So it's very cool. Slightly different, but the steering's different. But So if you thought CMM Off-Road was just those little ball mounts and stuff that you see on the grab handles, and nope, it's a lot more than that. Especially with the shifter. The shifters look really cool, and that's I mean. I understand there's the old timers, the ones that are hardcore Jeepers. They roll their eyes, they moan, they go, you bastards. Don't. It's not all about making it look good, but damn it, there's nothing wrong with making it look good.
And when you can
Well,
customize the interior of your Jeep with the handles, and somebody gets in there and sits down and go, what the hell is that? And especially if it's another Jeeper that has a Gladiator or has a LJ, and it's like, well, how did this happen? Yes, well, I just put it on there for CMM Off-Road. So it'll definitely stand out.
Yeah, for my mentality, form follows function. It has to work, and that's it. And so we played with this one. I don't want to continue on too awful long, but we played with this, and I started, like I say, the gun thing is pretty prevalent with what we do around here too. We've got another little side company that does that stuff too. But the SIG M17, M18 style platform started with that as the natural hand hold. Obviously, your hand's in a very different position, but that's where it kind of started with those two. And then it evolved into what we have now. So the form just followed. It just is what it is. It kind of landed where it was. And so far, everybody's liked the way the thing feels in their hand, and we'll just have to see where that goes. If somebody wants to tweak it or twitch it, we'll play with it.
And that's wonderful when you create something and the person gets it. It fits, it feels good, and they get it. They can tell because it's an approval of your hard work. So quick question: 9mm 40 caliber.
Oh, 9. And it's neither one, to be honest with you, but it's different.
I'm sorry.
9's so prevalent, but
I'm sorry. That's the wrong answer.
It's nothing is the right answer.
I know.
It's whatever your opinion is.
Yeah, guns are like a religion.
And again, it's the form follows function, so it depends on what the bullet is that is inside that weapon at the time and what you're trying to do with it. So I asked that question on purpose.
It's just like saying a Glock or a 1911, and same thing. It's the religion.
And if you want to start a real argument, that's a good way to start an argument too with people. That's an instant one. It's even more prevalent than Chevy and Ford or Jeep and Bronco. Yeah, it's prevalent.
Absolutely. So, All right. Well, I warned you ahead of time. You know how the kids love the social media. How can people find you on social media?
Our Facebook, CMM Off-Road. Instagram is at CMMCNC. X is at CMMNC as well. And then TikTok is at CMM Off-Road.
Ooh, you're on the TikTok. How about Pinterest? Are you on Pinterest?
I have to holler at my wife.
No, I'm not. I don't need to know. I don't care.
I don't think so. I
always say I'm not Pinterested.
Yes, I'm not Pinterested. Yeah, and that's out of my realm right there. So yeah, I know what it is, but yeah, I don't think so.
Well, Brian, I'm so sorry that it's taken us this long to get you on. You got a fantastic story. And it's great hearing about the products and learning some of the behind the scenes stuff there. I'm sorry, did you say if you had a YouTube channel or not?
There's a bunch of YouTube stuff that's out there that we have done for install videos. So
I'll just tell everybody
in process of that as well too.
I'll just tell everybody, just go to YouTube and just search for CMM Off-Road, and you'll probably
and even our old Carolina Metal Masters. I think most of that stuff's been switched over. We've got a few videos that they've got tons and tons of views, our old install videos. So I could imagine. And if you guys put anything up there with doing the CNC machine type stuff, after the military's gone through and removed the stuff that's secrets, then I think that would be fun to watch. Brian, thank you so much for being with us here. And thank you, sir.
We will be contacting you to get you back on the show.
Cool. Love to do it. Thank you for having us.
Broadcasting since 2010.
You're my friend. You're my new friend.